IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you are not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. As we head into week 4 of lockdown, we're doing our best to make sure that we maintain our schedules and try and get you as many of the podcasts that you're used to listening as we possibly can, but beg your indulgence if there are any slippages in schedules and times. With that, let's just get on with your show.
Hello one, hello all, welcome to the Diary of the Traveling Professor. And I'm Siddharth Deshmukh, your friendly neighborhood diary-wielding professor, currently very much grounded at home. It's interesting times these because all of us are trying to figure out what to do, not only during this particular quarantine situation, but what do we do after our quarantine gets over? How do we conduct business? How do we go about our lives? How do we market? I teach a subject called marketing in a digital world to many of my students. And especially online, a lot of these guys have been asking me, how do we market now in a post-apocalyptic situation wherein not only consumer behavior changes, but also expectations from businesses and marketing change? Well, it's a never-ending rabbit hole, I'm telling you, these kind of questions, and I'm trying to answer some of them through my podcast. The question that I'd like to begin with, really, is, well, do we have to do anything differently as marketers? I addressed some of this in my last podcast, which was about don't do typical brand building stuff, but how does a small business really cope up with, the sudden lack of customers or the sudden lack of demand? Do they go digital or what do they do? And to be honest, my answer is this. There has never been a better time to go digital. In fact, the smallest of the smallest kirana shops have been trying to figure out how they should go digital a long time before even this apocalypse happened. But it is always the ones in between, the beach wala bandars, the people who are stuck in running a small to medium enterprise, who are not really living on the absolute cash flow is king situation or the absolute brink of going out of business sort of situation. But they're living in the middle sort of scenario wherein they want to grow their business. They have heard about digital. They have been impacted by COVID, but they don't know whether that's it for them. And they don't know whether to go about changing their traditional ways of doing things and embracing something which is digital. Now, I suspect that most of these traditional small business houses are run by a venerable elder who genuinely feels that digital businesses are, newfangled things which do not apply to their businesses. I'm hoping some of this kind of thinking actually changes, especially in, after they've seen a sudden drop of customers, or they've seen how digital businesses are continuously, growing even in a situation like this, or at least maintaining status quo, and change. And I believe that change can only happen through their sons, their daughters, their nephews, their nieces, the younger ones in a traditional family household which has been running a business on traditional lines. I actually feel that if they go digital, they stand the most to gain. And they will gain not only in the short term, but also in the medium and long term. There are many such strategies that can be developed for traditional and small businesses. And I'm just hoping that some of these guys, and maybe some of you guys who are listening to this podcast, wake up. Because this was indeed a question that was asked by, one of the learners that I was interacting with on my latest online teaching shenanigan. So I do hope that this little word of encouragement allows people to at least consider digital as an option, as a very viable option that you can take. If you're running a traditional business, this is the time to change your ways because the consumer is rapidly evolving in front of your eyes. Please keep pace. If you like this diary entry of mine and you want some answers to some questions which go unanswered by most, Well, keep tuning on or listen to my Instagram stories. I'm the traveling professor there, or LinkedIn. You can connect with me there. And if you want to listen to podcasts like these, well, you have ivmpodcast.com. Just go there or download the app. And happy listening. And stay safe, people. And until next time.
Do you have a night routine? Well, everyone has one. And the to-do list usually looks like this. Brush your teeth, set that alarm, get into your pajamas, and switch off those screens. But here's one more to add to that list. Tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast for a dose of positive action and tips on how to build powerful mindsets. Episodes out every Monday on the IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com, or wherever you tune into podcasts.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.